In tonight's news bulletin, Premier Tokitalangi announces the date for elections. Niue Police lays charges against individuals involved in airport incident. Individuals charged for a firearm incident during land surveying dispute. Developments for the Ridge to Reef project make steady progress and a logo has been selected. Niue Tourism runs another successful Kainui Festival event. Government is continuing with its plans to boost economic development and generate revenue for national projects. Premier Tokitalangi has returned from a number of meetings with counterparts in the region that discussed a broad spectrum of topics relating to foreign affairs with emphasis on climate change and the regional political agenda as well as trade negotiations. Earlier today, Premier Talangi made an announcement regarding the pending national general elections because the last general elections were held in May of 2014.
I am announcing the elections to be held on the 4th of March next year. That'll be hopefully 2 years, 9 months to allow us to do that. That will also give people a chance to consider whether they wish to be members of the Assembly or not. Yesterday, I was disappointed with 3 members who keep on saying that they want young people to be in their house, but they don't want to increase the pay so that they attract young people to be in their house. Now, I'm quite certain as to the contradictions they see on the one hand, they say we want young people, on the other hand, got to have sit on their backsides and say, I don't want my pay increased and so on. Because after all, if you're not paying enough, then, people are not the quality of persons we would like to have in there will not be there to think. So I'm pleased that we're past it, and now it's just a question of making sure that we implement it sometime before then.
That leaves just about 6 months of preparation time for those who may be considering elections or re-election. It also gives the government a bit more time to implement a number of measures towards economic growth, and we will have more about that in our news bulletin next week. The Niue Police Department has been investigating 2 incidents that involved altercations between 2 families that occurred up at the airport. We spoke to the Chief of Police to find out what factors led to the assault and what actions the department has taken to resolve the disputes between both parties.
Everyone would understand that it's been an ongoing problem, but the problem on Tuesday, as we found out, that it was over some personal social media attack on both parties. So really it had nothing to do with the long-term issues, but I guess it's actually brewed up from the long-term issues that they have had. So we're able to say that it was between personal social media between the 2 parties as to what the problem was caused. We have charged the people involved. With the first incident, we've charged 2 people, 2 female. They have been charged with assault. And the second incident, we have charged 1 male for assaulting 2 females. So at the stage, we have taken the proceedings to take them to court, which they will appear in the next couple of weeks. 1 female was charged for assault. She's not an actual resident on Niue. There's a special hearing that's going to take place before she leaves the island, and that will take place on Monday next week. So the 3 people involved with the assaults have been charged at this stage and will be appearing in court. Whatever people say, I am the Chief of Police of Niue. I do have staff who are carrying out the investigation. I've delegated staff to get out there and complete the inquiries. And no matter what people think, at the end of the day, I am the Chief of Police. And I wear that hat. and I will do my job as much as I can to ensure that we deal with this situation. So I've got staff who's leading the investigation. I'm just there to ensure that everything has taken place to complete those inquiries so that we could deal with the situation the best we can. And I think we've done it in the last couple of days where we've handled it, and the staff are out there talking to people, and we have completed those inquiries, and I have been briefed as to what has happened, but staff are taking in charge with this case.
Police have been in discussions with both parties, making personal visits to their homes to monitor their movements. This is an unfortunate situation that has raised public comment even on social media, and that the department says does not help the situation.
At this stage, I could actually say that both parties are remorseful for what they've done. So they've left it to the police to deal and handle this matter, and we've continued that monitoring to ensure that both parties are abiding. So more likely we're just there to try and calm them down. I can't stop people from saying what they say on social media. People can say whatever they want to say, and I can't stop that. But I'm asking the community and those who do use social media as a way of expressing or sharing their views about what's happened, but it doesn't really help the situation between the two parties. And like I said, that both parties are quite remorseful and are disappointed as to what has happened, and with all the social media going on, it doesn't really help the situation. We're trying our best as a police department to ensure that the community is safe, and then both parties understand that we're trying to deal with the situation.
3 individuals will be appearing before the courts as a consequence of this particular incident. An apparent land dispute resulted in a firearm being discharged in Toi last week. The 2 parties involved had appeared for a land surveying exercise, and one party attempted to put a stop to the process. Justice has processes in place for land surveying and have advised people in the past, or landowners, that they cannot stop the surveying team from surveying the land. The incident involved a pastor, and we contacted the Ecclesia Kerisiano Niue to find out what implications this would have for a member of the clergy, but were unable to get a comment before the news bulletin went to air. According to a senior pastor, the normal process would be to wait for the outcome of a court case before any decision can be made. Niue police have charged 2 individuals for possession of a firearm, and they will appear in the next court hearing. Niue's Ridge to Reef project is making steady progress as part of a regional concept to enhance Niue's capacity to effectively create and manage areas for biodiversity conservation, sustainable use of natural resources, and safeguarding ecosystem services. It is a regional concept that started in Niue in 2013 to create and manage protection of the community conservation and government-led protected areas, to also build a sustainable future that meets Niue's economic and social needs while preserving environmental integrity, social stability, and its culture. It has been a major undertaking to get the project off the ground, with the expectation that the 5-year project worth $4.2 million will assist the government of Niue to establish terrestrial and marine protected areas, as well as shaping traditional practices towards safeguarding Niue's heritage.
We signed a document in April, but then we have somebody who's been working with us to translate the document, the information, in the language that it meets the requirement of GEF in UDB, into a language that can be easy for us to implement. So that's been that we've been working on that. We had the Inception Workshop and the National Inception Workshop in July, and then we've been recruiting people. A lot of the work that's been carried out now has been with the ministry, because this is a national implemented project. a lot of it will go through the process. There's been a lot of background work. There's been work, say, behind the scenes to get to this far. It's not just going to be somebody's going to write the report and the project document and that's it. There's been a lot of back and forth from us as we would develop the project to make sure that the things that we would like to achieve, it's reflected in the project document, but we also have to make sure that it meets the language of the GEF, and because we have to, even though projects that are simple, this is what we need to do, but we have to demonstrate that there's going to be some incremental or global benefits from this project for the whole world. So it's not just a simple, here you go out and do the work, but it's just very strategic and a lot of thinking going into the process.
One of the components for the project was to find an appropriate logo. A competition was open to the public to send in concepts, and Niue High School art teacher Legrand Heka was declared the winner of the Ridge to Reef logo competition. This sponsored competition was open to the public in July under strict criteria, and after robust judging from the judging panel, Legrand won it and collected a $500 cash prize. Other areas of focus under the Ridge to Reef program includes climate change, land degradation, international waters, and multiple focal areas. The other priority of this Ridge to Reef project is to encourage and support our communities to manage their landscape outside of the established protected areas effectively.
The knowledge about where the certain cultural heritage area needs to be protected is within a mangawhāua. It's not been recognised and not been documented. We like to see these areas be not. There will be a buffer area, but it's going to be we're looking at having protected areas or conservation area, not just on the land, but even on the seaside as well. They're looking at having some reserves on the marine, on the seaside. One of the main output that we would like to see is the Beveridge Reef being surveyed, and also with looking at declaring that as an MPA or close the areas for Niue and declare that as a World Heritage Site later on. But that's the intention that we would like to see. But we have to go through a consultation process and working with the community and working with a number of organisations around in the Pacific and also other partners as well that we do have on board.
Dr. Josie Tamate would like to reiterate that the Ridge to Reef project is on schedule to launch within a month, and there were a lot of documents to be ratified to suit and achieve the required outcomes, not only for Niue, but for the Pacific region and the world. Earlier this week, Niue High School was buzzing with excitement as students, parents and onlookers were there to observe students and their mentors present their dishes as part of the Junior Chef competition. This was part and parcel of the Kainui Food Festival. There were 3 groups that participated in the Kainui Junior Chef, as well as the 3 finalists for the signature dishes and 3 special chef judges from New Zealand.
And get the students to cook to a level of restaurant standard and to get international chefs to judge them on it. It's to build their confidence in cooking food and preparing food. So that's what it's all about for us. Securing mentors, getting the students hyped up about it and getting them into it. Finding fish was a bit of a mission. But I think it all came together really good today and the students had a lot of fun from what I saw. So I'm looking forward to the next Kainui and getting more students involved. Having it here at high school, the reason behind that was that for the next Kainui we're going to do the same thing, but it's about exposing it to the rest of the students, the upper-coming students, to get them more involved.
This year's competition was slightly different in the sense that the challenge was for competitors to use fish for their dishes. In the Junior Chef category, there were 3 teams made up of 2 students and 1 mentor each. The dishes were judged based on presentation, flavour, texture, level of difficulty and technique. However, the winning combination went to Moshina Jackson and Alia Siakia with their tuna sensation dish. We spoke with the winning team to find out what this means for them.
Fantastic. Feels good. It feels weird. It feels so fun. It's nice. It's a great feeling.
or more.
But the whole program, I think it was awesome. It's a good learning experience for us high school kids, especially at this level.
Yeah, it helps us understand and prepare for later on if we are going to do this again.
This year there were only 3 participating in the signature dish category. Mrs. Kairia Tongya won a return trip to New Zealand with accommodation included. The Kainiwe events came to a close with the Kainiwe Gala dinner on Monday evening, and the next Kainiwe Food Festival will be held in 2 years' time. That concludes our news bulletin for this evening. We do hope that you have an enjoyable weekend ahead. Don't forget to check out the Tuapa Uhumotu Village Show Day on Saturday.